All right, so get this. We're diving deep today into the Dallas Cowboys,
The Dallas Cowboys.
one of the biggest names in football.
Oh, yeah. A legacy as big as Texas itself.
Now, you might be a hardcore fan already, or just kind of curious, or hey, maybe you're getting ready for like a Cowboys trivia night.
Ooh, that would be fun.
But either way, I think you're going to find this deep dive super interesting.
We've got some real insights here, like official NFL stuff.
Yeah, and trust me, there's some juicy tidbits buried in this data.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did you know that the Cowboys are worth like $5 billion?
$5 billion.
It's crazy, right?
It's incredible. Really shows you the power of their brand.
Yeah, and it's more than just what they do on the field, too.
Right. It's the whole package.
So where do we even begin with a story this big?
Well, let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
1960. The
Hey.
Cowboys were born.
1960.
Yep. They didn't have a winning season right away, though.
When was their first winning season?
It took a few years. 1966. And that's when things get really interesting. They went on to have 20 winning seasons in a row.
Wait, 20 in a row?
Yeah, 20 straight winning seasons. It's pretty much unheard of in the NFL.
Wow, that's like a whole generation of fans growing up with the Cowboys on top.
Exactly. No wonder they're called America's team.
America's team.
Yep, from the late 60s to the mid-80s. That's when they really earned that name.
They must have been a powerhouse back then.
Oh, they were 18 playoff appearances, 13 NFC East titles, 5 Super Bowls.
5 Super Bowls.
It was a golden age for them.
And you can't talk about that era without talking about Tom Landry.
Oh, of course. Tom Landry, legendary coach.
Mhm.
2 Super Bowl wins.
And that hat.
Oh, yeah, the fedora. Iconic. But his impact goes way beyond the wins, you know?
In what way?
He really shaped the Cowboys' identity, and he influenced coaching strategies across the whole NFL.
Wow, so he was a real game changer.
Definitely.
So then in 1989, Jerry Jones buys the team.
1989, big changes.
That must have been a huge turning point.
It was Jones wasn't just an owner. He was a businessman.
Yeah.
He had a vision.
He wanted to shake things up.
Exactly. He knew how to build a brand.
And how to make money.
Well, that too.
I bet some people weren't too happy about that at first.
Oh, there were definitely some skeptics.
But you can't argue with the results.
3 Super Bowls in 4 years in the 90s.
Wow.
Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer coached those teams.
Those teams were electrifying.
Yeah, they really were. And those wins cemented the Cowboys as a modern dynasty. And of course, Jones's business smarts. Well, that's how they got to be the first team worth $5 billion.
Okay, so we've got these dynasty years, the Jerry Jones era, and this incredible financial success. But what about the players?
The players. Oh, we got to talk about the players.
The guys who actually made all this happen.
Right. Let's dive into some of those team facts I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, let's hear some rapid-fire highlights.
Okay. So going into 2024, the Cowboys have played 65 seasons.
65 seasons.
Yep. And their winningest coach is still Tom Landry, with a record of 250 wins, 162 losses, and 6 ties.
And of course, 5 Super Bowl wins.
That's right. They're one of the most successful franchises in NFL history.
Those are some serious bragging rights.
For sure.
I know they also have some incredible individual player records.
Oh, yeah, some legendary names in those record books.
So tell me, who are the guys at the top?
Well, for rushing yards, it's Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith.
He's got a whopping 17,162 rushing yards.
Wow. He really left his mark on the game.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about passing yards?
Tony Romo holds that record
Hmm?
with 34,183 passing yards.
Tony Romo.
The guy was a gunslinger. Always fun to watch.
And who's got the most receptions?
That would be Jason Witten, with an amazing 12,215 receptions.
Jason Witten.
He was Mr. Reliable, always there to make the catch.
So Emmitt Smith for rushing, Tony Romo for passing, Jason Witten for receptions. What about defense? Who leads in sacks?
DeMarcus Ware. He was a beast. 117 sacks.
117 sacks.
Quarterbacks must have nightmares about him.
I bet. And for interceptions?
Mel Renfro with a mind-blowing 52 interceptions.
52 interceptions.
Talk about a ball hawk.
He must have incredible instincts.
He did. He could read the field like nobody's business.
Okay, so we've got rushing, passing, receiving, sacks, interceptions. What about points? Who has the most career points?
Emmitt Smith again, with 986 points.
Wow, Emmitt Smith is all over these record books.
He was a scoring machine.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the place where all this magic happens. AT&T Stadium.
AT&T Stadium.
Built in 2009, it holds a massive 80,000 fans.
It's an incredible venue.
It is. And speaking of incredible, did you know that they use a special kind of turf there?
Oh, yeah. It's called Hellas Matrix Turf.
Dallas Matrix Turf.
It's supposed to be easier on the players' bodies.
That's fascinating. And of course, we can't forget about the Cowboys' home, Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, a city with a population of over 1.3 million.
And the Cowboys are a huge part of that city's identity.
Absolutely. They're a source of pride for Dallas.
Yeah.
And their blue and silver colors, you see them everywhere.
Those colors are iconic.
They really are. Classic and bold, just like the Cowboys themselves.
And speaking of bold, here's where things get really interesting.
Oh, yeah. This is where we start looking ahead.
Exactly.
With all this history, all this success, and a brand as strong as theirs, what does the future hold for the Dallas Cowboys?
That is the million-dollar question.
Can they recapture that dynasty magic?
They've got the legacy, they've got the resources, and they've definitely got the fan base.
That's for sure. But the NFL landscape is always changing. It's a tough league. Staying on top is no easy feat.
You're telling me.
The competition is fierce.
Yeah.
They'll need to adapt and evolve if they want to stay ahead of the curve.
So how do they do it?
How do the Dallas Cowboys not just survive, but thrive in the modern NFL?
That's what we're going to explore next.
It's going to be a fascinating discussion.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Well, for starters, they got to keep building that winning culture. You know?
Yeah, how do they do that?
It's about more than just talent. It's about leadership and teamwork and a commitment to excellence.
So creating a winning culture and getting the most out of their players, that's a tall order.
It is.
Yeah.
And then there's the quarterback.
The quarterback.
In today's NFL, you need a top-tier quarterback if you want to win a championship.
Yeah. The Cowboys have had some greats under center. Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, Tony Romo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And their current quarterback, he has potential.
Yeah, he does.
But he needs to step up. Be a leader.
Right.
Make those clutch throws.
And rally the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't hurt to have a solid offensive line and some talented skill players around him, too.
Speaking of skill players, the Cowboys have some exciting young talent on offense right now.
They do. It's fun to watch them develop.
Yeah, you can see the potential there.
They've got that dynamic running back. He can break tackles, make big plays.
And that speedy wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, he's got game changer written all over him.
And then you add in the veterans on the team.
You've got a real potent offensive attack.
But you can't win championships with just offense. What about the Cowboys' defense? Can they hold their own?
Well, they've invested heavily in their defense in recent years.
Oh, yeah.
Drafting and signing some key players.
So they've got the pieces.
They do. They've got a solid core of defensive stars. They need to be aggressive, though. Create turnovers. Keep opposing offenses in check.
If they can do that, they'll be tough to beat.
No doubt about it.
And we can't forget about special teams.
Special teams, often overlooked, but so important.
Yeah, it might not be the flashiest part of the game.
But it can win or lose you a game in a heartbeat.
Exactly. They've got a reliable kicker.
And a punter who can flip the field.
Consistent special teams play is crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it.
So we've talked about the players, the coaches, the offense, the defense, special teams. It sounds like the Cowboys have all the pieces in place.
On paper, they do.
But what about those external factors, those bigger trends that are shaping the NFL today? How are the Cowboys navigating those changes?
Well, one of the biggest trends is the emphasis on the passing game.
The passing game.
Teams are throwing the ball more than ever before.
So the Cowboys need to adapt.
They do. They need to be able to move the ball through the air.
It's a quarterback-driven lead.
It is. And then there's the rise of analytics.
Analytics.
Teams are using data and statistics to make decisions in ways we've never seen before.
So the Cowboys need to embrace that.
They do. They need to use data to their advantage.
And then there's social media.
Ah, yes, social media. A powerful force in the NFL.
For better or worse.
It could be a double-edged sword. It allows teams to connect with fans, but it also puts players and coaches under constant scrutiny.
So the Cowboys need to be smart about how they use it.
Absolutely. They need to manage their social media presence carefully.
So the Cowboys have a lot on their plate. They need to develop their talent, adapt to changes in the game, navigate the complexities of the modern NFL.
It's not easy being a Cowboy.
But they've also got a rich history of success, a passionate fan base, a strong front office.
All true?
Do you think they have what it takes to reach the top again?
I think they do. The potential is there, but it won't be easy.
What do they need to do?
They need to stay healthy, make smart decisions,
Yeah.
execute their game plan week in and week out.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they need to dominate their division.
The division. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about rivalries.
Rivalries.
The Cowboys have some of the fiercest in the league.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The Washington team name?
The New York Giants.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Those games are always battles.
They're must-watch TV.
Absolutely. Rivalries are what make sports so compelling.
It's the history, the passion, the intensity.
All of that comes together in those matchups
The Cowboys need to rise to the occasion.
and prove their dominance.
Speaking of must-watch, the Cowboys have become more than just a football team.
Oh, yeah, they're a cultural phenomena,
A global brand.
a source of pride for Dallas.
They've been featured in movies, TV shows, countless articles,
Their star logo is recognized around the world.
and their cheerleaders are legendary.
They've transcended the realm of sports.
They're part of American culture.
It's amazing to think about how far they've come since 1960.
And that cultural impact has definitely translated into business success.
Oh, yeah. Jerry Jones has built a billion-dollar empire.
He's a master at building the Cowboys brand.
He's made strategic investments, maximized revenue streams, created new business opportunities.
They generate revenue from everywhere. Ticket sales, merchandise sponsorships, media rights.
You name it.
But it's not all about business, is it?
No. At the end of the day, it's about the game,
The players.
the legacy.
And the Cowboys have a rich history of legendary players.
Oh, yeah. Some of the greatest to ever play the game.
Roger Staubach,
Troy Aikman,
Emmitt Smith,
Michael Irvin,
DeMarcus Ware.
just to name a few.
These guys, they embodied the spirit of the Cowboys.
Found dedication.
A relentless pursuit of excellence.
They inspired generations of fans.
And helped to build the Cowboys' legacy.
They set the bar high for future generations.
Speaking of the future, it's going to be fascinating to see how the Cowboys navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
The NFL is constantly evolving,
They'll need to adapt and innovate to stay at the top.
but they have what it takes.
The history, the resources, the passionate fan base,
They have the potential to achieve great things.
the talent, the leadership, the drive.
It's all about putting it all together, executing on the field.
It's an exciting time to be a Cowboys fan.
There's a lot to be optimistic about.
But they'll need to prove themselves week after week.
That's the beauty of the NFL.
Every season is a new chapter.
Anything can happen,
The Cowboys have the potential to write a thrilling story.
but they'll need to earn it.
Man, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have, from those crazy winning streaks to Jerry Jones' business empire.
It's like I got a crash course in Cowboys history.
And we just scratched the surface.
I know, right? There's so much more to this team.
Yeah, but you know what really struck me?
What's that?
The Cowboys, they're more than just a team.
I think you're right. They're like a symbol,
Exactly. They represent something bigger.
like a spirit, a drive for success.
Yeah, and it resonates with people.
That's why even when they're not winning championships,
They're still the Dallas Cowboys.
there's a mystique about them.
Like a larger-than-life quality.
You always hear people talking about them.
It's those blue and silver uniforms.
Those legendary players.
Those intense rivalries.
It all adds to their aura.
And let's not forget those fans.
It's America's team for a reason.
Oh, yeah. Their fan base is incredible.
Loyal, vocal. They bring the energy.
No doubt about it.
Well, it's been a wild ride exploring the world of the Dallas Cowboys.
I've learned a lot. Me too.
And, before we wrap things up, I have one last question for you.
Okay, shoot.
If you had to sum up the essence of the Dallas Cowboys in just a few words, what would they be?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know, right?
I think I'd go with legacy, ambition, and showmanship.
I love that legacy, ambition, and showmanship.
They've got that rich history to draw
The
on,
drive to succeed.
and they know how to put on a show.
That's the Dallas Cowboys in a nutshell. Well, folks, that brings our deep dive to a close. We've unearthed some incredible facts, explored their triumphs and challenges, and even pondered their future.
It's been a journey.
It has. And now you're armed with enough Cowboys knowledge to impress even the most die-hard fan.
Go out there and spread the word.
A huge thank you to you, our listeners, for diving in with us. And remember, this is just the beginning. If you're feeling inspired, go explore those personal stories we talked about, dive into those legendary games, and keep the Cowboys conversation going. Until next time, keep those helmets shiny and those spirits high.